Hello and welcome to Baking on a Budget. In this video I'm going to be making this really simple, absolutely delicious chocolate mousse. This is a dark chocolate mousse, beautiful. Now there is only 4 ingredients for this, which are over here, and I'll run through them, tell you exactly what we're using. We're using 4 egg whites. Now I'm just classifying that as an egg at 13 pence a piece. So the 4 egg whites are 52 pence. We have 100 grams of dark chocolate at 65 pence. I believe that's a 50% cocoa solid chocolate. We have 40 grams of unsalted butter at 40 pence. And we have 8 Bourbon Biscuits at 16 pence. So the whole of this recipe is £1.73. We're going to get 5 really nice slices of mousse out of that, which will make that mousse 34 pence per slice. Now I'm going to make this mousse in one of these foil tins. And I'm going to line that with a piece of the greaseproof paper just so we can lift it out easily when it has set. First thing that we want to do is make the biscuit base for this. And for that we're going to melt this 40 grams of butter. That has gone onto the hob and will just melt down slowly. And the next thing we want to do is prepare these Bourbon biscuits. Now I like to take the cream out of these. I don't think the cream of this Bourbon works very well in the biscuit base. So we just want to be left with the chocolate biscuit itself. And again, I found the best way to do this is just to scrape that off with a knife. Alrighty, and with that done, we're just going to pop these into a bag and then use the rolling pin to break them up. The butter has melted. It was only on there for less than a minute, I think. And we're going to pour the crumb biscuits into the butter. And then we want to just stir that up, make sure everything is coated with the butter. And then we will simply take our tray, pour the biscuit base into there, and spread it out with the back of the spoon. And now I'll put this in the fridge to let it set properly. And whilst that is setting, we will get on with making the mousse itself. Now to make this mousse I'm using this dark chocolate, which I got from Aldi, and that was 69 pence I think for the bar. 65 pence, sorry, for 100 grams of that chocolate. Now we're going to break that up and put it in this bowl, and then we'll just put the bowl over some boiling water and let the chocolate melt down. And for the rest of this recipe, really, this is simplicity itself, but we want the egg whites. Now, I'm going to save the yolks, and later I will make a pouring custard with those yolks. So we just want to separate them first, and I'm separating them into this bowl, or this jug, because this is what I'm going to whip them up in. Get all of the whites out of there, and then we can put the yolk in a glass, and we'll save them, and as I say later, we will make a pouring custard with those. I think the important thing here is not to hit the egg too hard so that you don't actually break the yolk. You want the yolk to stay intact so that it doesn't mix with the whites at all. Okay, that done, I shall pop these back in the fridge, and then we're going to mix that up. I want to give this a good whisking, and we want it to be, it'll be white and it will peak. It'll be a fairly stiff consistency when we're done with this. So we just want to use the hand whisk is obviously, the electric hand whisk is obviously the easiest thing to use. Can use a normal whisk if you want, but that will take a little time. So I'm just going to use this, and we'll come back when that's been whisked up. And just a couple of minutes later, that is done perfectly. That's nice, stiff mixture. It peaks, it holds together. That's going to make a beautiful mousse. Okay, and a couple of moments later, the chocolate has melted nicely. So I'm going to turn this out into the mixing bowl. And I'm going to get just about every last piece of that out. You could use a stronger chocolate if you wanted a more bitter, darker mousse, a 70% chocolate. Obviously would be a little bit more expensive. And similarly, you could use a milk chocolate if you wanted it a little bit lighter in taste. That will do nicely. Now the trick here is to fold the egg whites and chocolate together. And I'm just going to do this a little bit at a time. and it really is a very gentle folding motion. We don't want to knock any of the air out of the egg whites, but we do want to do it quickly enough before the chocolate starts to set again. So it'll look a bit grainy to begin with, but if you just keep this motion going, cutting it in a figure eight or whatever, that will soon come together. Looking good. Okay, a little bit more of the egg white in there. And as I say, it's just a gradual process, little by little, until this is a lovely, smooth, consistent colour. Now we have our biscuit base back out of the fridge. This in real time has probably taken me about 5 minutes, if that, to put together, and this is going to be delicious. Just want to make sure we get all of that out of there. There it is, one delicious chocolate mousse, and it cost a total of £1.73. Now I'm going to put that in the fridge, and I'm going to leave it there for a couple of hours. I really want it to set before I try to take it out, otherwise it is going to slop all over the place. So about 2 hours in the fridge. Okay, and after a couple of hours in the fridge, this is looking delicious. Look at that. That is really light and fluffy sort of mousse. Now I put a little icing sugar on the top of this and give it a moat of pouring cream. And I'm just going to take a little piece off that and taste it. It looks absolutely delicious. That is quite a bitter chocolate, but that is the way I like it. As I say, if you would like chocolate a little sweeter, you could always use a milk chocolate. But the base is nice and crisp. And that really is melt in the mouth. And that piece of chocolate mousse, 34p. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do give this recipe a try. Very simple to do, very easy to do, and absolutely delicious. If you would like to see more recipes like this in the future, do consider subscribing to the channel. And as for now, I'm going to finish off the rest of this mousse, and I thank you very much for watching.